If you want to do well in neurology, you have to figure out how the major parts of the nervous system connect with each other. These are some common things that you're going to see as you're studying, so I'm going to break it down in this video. You're going to learn about neurons versus glia, CNS versus peripheral nervous system, white matter versus gray matter, afferent versus efferent neurons, and somatic versus autonomic. Let's get to it. Let's start with the function. Nervous system is basically the command center of the body. I like to remember its functions as the 3 C's: cognition, control, and coordination. So cognition is the higher level things that the brain does, like thought, emotions, and behavior. Control, because the nervous system regulates the other organ systems and their actions. And then coordination, basically this is a loop from input to processing to output. So the nervous system receives input from the environment or organs, processes it, and then performs the correct action in response. For example, if you touch something hot, you're going to feel pain. That's the input. Then the brain's going to process that and it's going to tell you to move your hand away. That's the output. But remember that nervous system also regulates things that you're not aware of. So for example, if you have low blood pressure, the nervous system is going to sense that, process it, and respond to correct it by vasoconstriction. And the way that this is all made possible is because the main cells of the nervous system are neurons, which specialize in communication. So let's learn about the cells of the nervous system now. So the easiest way to remember the cells of the nervous system is to divide them into neurons and glial cells. Neurons are the functional cells, so they're the ones that communicate by secreting neurotransmitters. A neuron has a soma, which is a cell body, and an axon. The cell body is shown green right here. It contains the nucleus and the organelles, so this is where the neurotransmitters are made. And then also it has dendrites, so this is where it receives signals from the other neurons. And then the neurotransmitter that's made here is going to travel down the axon all the way to the axon terminal where it's going to get secreted. And then the final point that's important is remember that most axons are myelinated. That means they're wrapped in this myelin sheet. And this is important because it insulates them, so it helps speed up that electrical conduction. So key takeaway here is that most axons are myelinated, whereas the cell bodies are not. And this is going to be important later when we talk about white matter versus gray matter, so keep this in mind. And then the glial cells are the supportive cells. Glia literally means glue. So these cells are the supportive glue. They help support the neurons. There are 5 main types. There are astrocytes, microglia, epidermal cells, oligodendrocytes, and Schwann cells. And I talk about the neurons in more detail as well as the different functions of each of these glial cells in my separate video on the cells of the nervous system, and I'll pin that in the comments. Let's zoom back out and think about how the nervous system is organized. And anatomically, it's organized as the central versus the peripheral nervous system. Central is the parts of the nervous system that are in the center of the body, which is the brain and the spinal cord. So everything that's in yellow right here in the center of the body. Spinal cord has 4 regions from top to bottom. You have cervical spine, thoracic spine, lumbar spine, and sacral spine. And then the brain and the spinal cord are actually covered by very important connective tissue called the meninges, and they're surrounded by a special fluid called the cerebral spinal fluid, which provides it with both physical and chemical protection. So I like to think of it as cushion and nutrition. And then the peripheral nervous system is everything else peripheral to the brain and the spinal cord. So this is going out to the periphery of the body. So the first structures are going to be the nerve roots. So these are the parts that are going to enter and exit the spinal cord. And then everything beyond that are going to be the different nerves that are going to go out and innervate the different organs and different parts of the body. So here's a quick peek into the central nervous system. We have the brain over here, spinal cord over here. So here we're looking at the brain sideways. So this is a sagittal view. So this would be the front and this will be the back. What you can see is that the brain is made up of 3 main parts. The cerebrum, which is the largest part of the brain. The cerebellum, which is much smaller, sits under the cerebrum and posteriorly. And then you have the stem of the brain, which is the brainstem. And this literally makes the connection between the rest of the brain and the spinal cord below. And then the spinal cord has 4 regions. The top region, which is in the neck, that's connecting to the brainstem, is the cervical region, and that connects to the thoracic spine below, which then connects to the lumbar spine, and then finally to the sacral spine, which is the end of the spinal cord. One important difference to keep in mind between the brain and the spinal cord is how their gray matter and white matter is distributed. White matter is made up of a bundle of axons, and that's because axons are myelinated. Gray matter is the parts of the central nervous system that's made up of cell bodies, and that's because they're not myelinated. And if you take a look right here at this MRI of the brain, you can see that the outer portion of the brain is made up of gray matter. Most of the inside is white matter, and then you have some small pockets of deep gray matter here. But the key here is that the outer part of the brain is gray matter. The spinal cord, on the other hand, is different. What you can see right here is that the outer part of the spinal cord is all white matter, and then the gray matter is distributed internally in the shape of the letter H. So key difference is that in the brain, you have outer gray matter. This is also known as cortical gray matter, whereas in the spinal cord, the outer portion of the spinal cord is white matter. The gray matter is all on the inside. All right, so now let's move on from the anatomical organization and let's talk about the functional organization of neurons. So they're organized as efferent neurons versus afferent neurons. Efferent neurons exit from the CNS. So these are motor neurons because they're leaving the central nervous system, going to the target organs and commanding them to perform a motor action. Whereas the afferent neurons, on the other hand, are arriving at the central nervous system. So they're bringing in sensory information to the central nervous system. So a simple way to diagram this would be our efferent neurons are the blue here. The brain wants our organ to do something. So the brain sends that information through efferent neuron to the spinal cord. Spinal cord relays that through another efferent neurons to our organ to make that action happen. And then conversely, we have the afferent. So let's say our organ wants to send some sensory information to the brain. So the organ sends that information to the spinal cord via an afferent neuron, and then the spinal cord sends it to the brain via another afferent neuron. So efferents exit from the central nervous system. They're essentially motor neurons, whereas afferents arrive at the central nervous system. So they're essentially sensory neurons bringing in sensory information to the central nervous system. And sometimes students confuse what efferent versus afferent is. So here's a couple of good mnemonics. So efferent exits the central nervous system, whereas afferent arrives at the central nervous system. And then the other mnemonic is the word same. So sensory is afferent and motor is efferent. So the final topic we're going to cover in this video is somatic versus autonomic nervous system. So somatic is our aware and voluntary system. Autonomic is our unaware and involuntary system. They each have an afferent and an efferent branch. Remember, afferent is our sensory. So for the somatic nervous system, it's bringing in sensory information that we're aware of. So for example, pain here from this broken arm. The efferent nervous system is voluntary movement. So for example, moving your arm or your leg. Autonomic nervous system, on the other hand, sounds like automatic because it's all happening without us being aware. The afferent branch is sensory input that we're unaware of. For example, decrease in blood pressure. Efferent output are motor actions that are involuntary. So for example, vasoconstriction in response to this decreased blood pressure. This is not something that we're voluntarily controlling. This is being taken care of by the autonomic branch of the central nervous system without us even being aware. And then the final point is that the efferent autonomic nervous system has its own two branches depending on what kind of actions are happening. So the fight or flight actions are handled by the sympathetic nervous system. The rest and digest actions are handled by the parasympathetic nervous system. And I have a separate video that covers the autonomic nervous system in detail. I'll link that in the comments. So let's end with a summary under a minute. The main role of the nervous system is cognition, control of the rest of the body's organ systems, and communication. Its main functional cell type is neurons, which are supported by glial cells. Anatomically, it's divided into the central nervous system, which is the brain and the spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system, which is everything else. The central nervous system structures are protected by the meninges, which are the dura, the arachnoid, and the pia mater, and the cerebral spinal fluid. Afferent neurons are sensory, efferent neurons are motor. The somatic nervous system is our voluntary and conscious system. The autonomic nervous system is our involuntary and unconscious system. And then the autonomic nervous system efferents are either sympathetic, which is fight or flight, or parasympathetic, which is rest and digest. That's it and that's all. I linked a couple of related videos here so you can check it out. And if this video helped you, please give it a like, drop a comment, and share it with others. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date on new videos and posts. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.